Hey, welcome to the Voice of San Diego live at 5, Friday 5, live at 5. We got a good show tonight. Not the best organized on my part, but it is going to be really interesting because it's good content. It's really good content. And we've got tons of graphs, a lot of things to show you about the voice poll. I talked to you about it last week. We did our own poll. I've got a lot of feedback from it, a lot of great stories still to come as we go through all the data. It's so nice to have our own data. But just first, shout out to Adriana Heldes, who's helped put the show together today and put the graphs together. She has been a graphs machine. There are so many polls or data sets to talk about, to go through, and she's been just hammering out some really interesting visuals of what we found out when we talked to all those residents. So just to review, Voice of San Diego poll. It's our subject tonight on the Friday 5 Live at 5. We are going to go through 5 at least. Maybe we'll stretch it. Friday 7. Maybe we'll do Friday 7 tonight, but we'll see how it goes. But we have lots of great stuff out there. Remember, okay, so we did a big poll of the region. About 712 respondents to that one, just of San Diego County. Scientifically, we really worked hard to make sure we got representative volume from different demographic groups. So that's of the whole region. But then we extended the sample for the broader areas in two political races, the city of San Diego and District 3 of the County Board of Supervisors. We wanted to test those specifically because it's really interesting races in the future of our region politics. We want to see where things kind of stood. It was really interesting results from those two races. So those are a separate extended response pool. We got to about 1,200 people total, or 1,200. So we were really excited about all the data that came out of that. Again, the two political races were just a small part of it, but an interesting one this week. So let us get into this. We are going to do Friday 5 Live at 5. It's number one, the number one thing that we wanted to pull from the story. I'm just going to pull the kind of main thing we wanted to do. Well, one of like 3 or 4 things we wanted to do. Wanted to see what people thought was the most serious problems. What they thought were the most serious problems in San Diego. So we asked the question, would you rate the following issue as very concerning, extremely concerning, somewhat concerning, that sort of thing? What this graph is the ranking of the issues that they thought were the most very concerning or extremely concerning. So more than almost 90% of people picked the economic impact of COVID-19 as the most concerning thing they were dealing with, or they were worried about. Second is the cost of housing and rent. They found those problems to be extremely or very serious. The cost of housing and rent, homelessness right there with it, wildfires, and then the health impact of COVID-19. So the economic impact of COVID-19 worrying people a lot more than the health impact, but that still is extremely or very concerning to 70% of people. So not exactly relaxed about it. And then it goes down climate change, quality of K-12 education, other things like that. So that was our number one interesting finding from the week. A lot of people really concerned about the economic, their or their neighbor's economic situation, whether it's with housing and rent, or whether it's just the direct thing that people are dealing with the health and the economic impacts of COVID-19. So we had a lot. That was we got some more stories coming out about some specific points within that. I know we had people working today to ask people what they thought about some of that data. What do you think of some of that data? What are you most concerned about? If somebody asked you of these topics, economic impact of COVID, cost of housing and rent. Do you find those things very concerning or extremely concerning? But let me know in the chat. I'll bring you up. We'll talk about your point. I'd like to hear. At the bottom there's police mistreatment of people of color. There were a lot of differences with people of color and how they responded to some of these issues. Police mistreatment of people of color wasn't as big a deal to white people, apparently. Go figure. Quality of K-12 education, people of color in different groups, obviously representing different perspectives among them, but they were a lot more worried as a larger group the than whites who responded. So about quality of K-12 education. So a lot of really interesting data. We're going to be breaking down that even more over the next little while. Those are the ranks of how many people found something either extremely concerning or very concerning. Lisa Halverstadt did a very good piece about that second issue, housing and homelessness. And it's been something pollsters have noticed and people in the community have noticed for a while, that people are very worried about housing and homelessness. But they were but they don't know what to do. There's no consensus about what to do. Now, obviously, if you have something that's in short supply that a lot of people want, that tends to make that price go up of that commodity. And housing is a commodity that's out there that some people can afford and some people can't. So it seems like an important one. It's not like applesauce or something. It's shelter. So I can see why people are worried about it, because it is very expensive to be here. And obviously homelessness is brutal. So what do you think of these issues? Wildfires. If somebody asked you about wildfires, would you say it's an extremely or very concerning problem? Or would you be like, no, I'm not? Another interesting difference, gender. Look at this. Women are just simply more worried about, as a proportion, about many of these topics, including housing and rent, than men. All these topics they're more worried about, except for public transportation. That's interesting. Huh. But a lot of really interesting points in different perspectives here. So that's the first part of the voice poll we wanted to talk about tonight. We did this in partnership with FM3 Research. FM3 Research did a great job, and it's helping us a lot to understand all that data that's coming through. So let's go to our second point on the Friday Five, live at 5, number 5, or number 2. Today, I wanted to talk about the general direction of things. So basically, we asked survey participants whether they thought the following entities were heading in the right direction or on the wrong track. The wrong track. Now look at this. Blue here, I think that's blue. It is right direction for the United States. Not so good. I kind of want to talk to the 30% that are like, everything's going in the right direction. Like, I'd kind of like to know what they're thinking about it. Like, what exactly is going well? I mean, there are a few things probably. I'd like to hear their thoughts. So then there's California, a little bit bigger of a blue, but still underwater. More people think it's heading in the wrong direction than think it's heading in the right direction, but it's bigger. And then San Diego County is even bigger. And then your city is even bigger. Your city. So basically, the closer people got, the more they trusted their government. Look at that. The United States, or more, not trusted as much as felt was going in the right direction, wrong track. California, a little better. San Diego County, a little better. Your city or town, real good. Really good. Let me do that one in a second. Let's see. Yeah, right. So let's look at the city or town. There were similar numbers for the city of San Diego. Similar numbers for the city of San Diego. About 49% of people thought the city of San Diego was going in the right direction. Not quite a majority, but more than thought was on the wrong track. So let's do number 3 with that. me check your comments. What's up? What's up? I don't know what Lisa did, but thank you too. Yes, always thank Lisa Halverstadt. That's right. She did the story. That's what you're thinking. Yes, she did a great job on that. She's been on the beat of homelessness housing for a while. All right. Let's do number 3. So, if you're among that group of about 49% of people who think the city's on the right track, turns out you're more likely to support Todd Gloria than if you think the city's on the wrong track, and that there's more people who support Barbara Bree who think the city's on the wrong track than that support Todd Gloria. Very interesting, right? Because she's on the city council now. So if you think the city's in the wrong direction, she's part of the governance of that. But Todd Gloria is not. And if you think the city's in the right direction, why would you want the guy who's less involved than the woman who's involved? However, it stands to reason in a way because she is uh, tries to position herself kind of as an outsider to the establishment or whatever, um, the network of supporters that kind of line up behind Todd Gloria, and we need to shake them up or whatever. Same thing though for the county of San Diego. The county of San Diego, Kristen Gaspar, of course, is the incumbent, so she's the one part of leading the county right now. And Tara Lawson Remer wants to, oust her and take that seat. And so, if you believe the county's heading in the wrong direction, you're actually more likely to support Kristen Gaspar than you are to support Tara Lawson Remer. So see that on the right, wrong direction. If you believe the wrong direction, 48% of you or of the respondents support Kristen Gaspar. So she's in the government, but she gets the people who think it's in the wrong track. It's on the wrong track. Again, she's kind of positioned herself sometimes as an outsider. She's often talked about Nathan Fletcher complaining about his decisions for public health and COVID-19. Well, he's one Democrat on of 5 people on the board who are all of the rest of them are Republicans. Like, why does he have more power than you do on this board? So she has sometimes positioned herself as an outsider. So it makes sense if you think the county's in the wrong direction, maybe you'd go with somebody who kind of positions themselves. Or since the more conservative candidate gets that here, maybe it's just a conservative sort of lack of trust in government. It's always kind of in the wrong direction, and so they just line up with conservatives, more conservative people in the case of Barbara Bree. Very interesting. Very interesting results there, I thought. All right, let's do one more. Oh, we talked about the homeless. Indicate whether you feel it is an extremely, very, somewhat, or not too serious problem in the San Diego area. I'm going to make this the 4th one. So look at that. Very serious, extremely serious, takes up the whole darn pie. People are worried about homelessness, and rightly so. I live in Ocean Beach, talk about it a lot. There is a lot of abject poverty in the streets. Like, we shouldn't just be okay with that. Like, what is happening? What's going to happen? What's the plan? Who should be in charge? We need to help people, and our streets need to be, better. We need to help people. They shouldn't have to live on the streets. What's happening? People are worried about this issue. People are worried about these people. What are you going to do about it? Do something. Everybody, all of you people who are in charge, let's do something. That's what people are saying over and over. If cost of housing is a concern, there's things. What are we going to do about that? Are you going to allow more homes? Are you going to allow them in your neighborhood? What are you going to do? Let's figure this out. Where are all these people going to go? So yes, there's a lot of worry about housing and homelessness in this community. Housing the same way. Look at that. Extremely serious, very serious. The not too serious. Who's the not too serious? Nah. I mean, I guess there is. a lot of room for comfort in San Diego. There's probably a lot of people that feel like everything's great, but there's a lot of people living in abject poverty on the streets, like in a lot of different places. Most obviously in, or a lot of them in downtown or in riverbeds, but there are, yeah, we got to do something. All right. Number 5, check out more discussion about this at our podcast. So look, I just ramble Fridays about this stuff because I just like talking a lot. But uh we do a better, more organized show in a way on the podcast with Sarah Libby and Andrew Keats. And we do that. We record Thursdays. It goes out Friday. This week, we went through our weekly, or our sort of traditional draft, where we draft the elections that we're most interested in seeing results from on Tuesday. And then on Tuesday, when we record the show at night with the results hopefully in hand and civilization hopefully still intact, we'll go back through that draft and see what we thought. So, for instance, with the first pick in this year's elections draft, Sarah Libby chose something kind of off the wall, something not expected for this draft. We're thinking mayor's race, stuff like that. Her first choice, got any guesses? Or did you already listen? If you already listened, you can't have it. All right, fine, you don't have to guess. She picked Prop 22, the Uber Lyft thing, the app-based drivers. And so that kind of caught me by surprise, right? You don't expect that to go off the draft board so quick. Prop 22, all the things that, but it's a big deal. So much money, future of work, the future of employment on the ballot. A new job description. You can be an independent contractor, or you can be a uh, employee, or you can be a driver for an app-based company. So you're just this other thing. That's what it is. That's what this ballot initiative is. They spent hundreds of millions of dollars on it. So go check that out. And then election night, we'll record another one, have that out ready for you in the morning about what we hear and see. Hopefully, you'll have access to electricity and you'll be able to listen to our podcast after the election. I think everything's going to be okay, but this is 2020. So, you know, jokes about civil unraveling. We're okay though. This is 2020. We're strong people. We're a smart people. We care about working together. I think mostly peacefully. So let's do that and move on. Get to the other side of this stupid year. It's the stupidest year I've ever been in. Stupid year. Not a good year, 2020. But let's turn the corner. All right. Stay tuned also for the politics report, comes out tomorrow. We've got our regular elections contest where you can pick how these races will come out. That's in tomorrow's politics report. Send that in. Usually you win lunch with Sarah, Andy, and I, but we kind of didn't do anything last time in March because there was a gigantic lockdown and it was all weird because this year. So we still owe them lunch. So we'll owe somebody else lunch. But really, it's about bragging rights, right? Like, you don't want to be around Andy when he's eating. So, it's not that great to get lunch, but bragging rights for the uh, elections contest. Now that's where it's at. That's good stuff. So you'll see that in the politics report. Sign up for that at voiceofsandiego.org. We got some stuff, more stuff from the poll in there, more updates about the election night results, a little thing from Randy Dotinga. It's good. It's a good politics report. Voiceofsandiego.org. You don't get it. And if you don't donate and you watch and you're way into this stuff, come on. We need you. Come aboard. Voiceofsandiego.org/donate. It's, we do a lot of different things and we're doing our best to pay people and all that stuff, and we need your support. voiceofsandiego.org/donate. Thank you, and buckle up, enjoy your weekend, change your clocks, and let's just go into Monday and be like, let's do this. Let's make everything okay. Uh, let's just do some really interesting stuff. All right. Love you guys. We'll talk to you again in the podcast Tuesday night also, but you can also join me Wednesday. We'll go right into what we know and don't know. And I'll love to see you there. Enjoy your weekend. Again, just enjoy this extra hour, chill out, get some sun, take care of yourself because we got a week coming up, guys. We got a real week coming up. Let's just do